Hello and welcome to the Performance Motor Network slash Global Racing Esports Network simulcast of the Rise of the Phoenix 200. And we have the Global Racing Xfinity Series going to be live and in action here tonight, their fourth race of the season. I'm joined in the booth by Michael Lester. Are you excited, Lester?
Man, I am excited. Phoenix is definitely a driver's track. I think it's going to be the first test as these Xfinity cars have seen this season. We've gone to Daytona, we've gone to Las Vegas. We went to what was the third track that we went to?
We went to Auto Club.
Auto Club. All big tracks, mile and a half to 2 miles to 2.5 miles. This is our first mile track on the schedule. It's going to be the first test that these guys have to really test how they can drive these cars. So you got your braking points, you got your three different types of turns here, and it's just going to test their driving ability tonight.
Yeah, I definitely agree totally. And it's also going to test the setups that these guys brought to the table here. How long they put time in on them, and even if you brought the right setup too. I mean, it's a hot track right now. I know the temperature is pretty high out there. I know it's over 100 at least, and tires are going to be the name of the game here tonight as we are watching a little bit. Steve Gerber out here turning some tracks laps, hits the wall. That's going to be one of those problem areas. It's going to be very easy to hit the wall coming out of two right there.
Yeah, these turns, I think it's the configuration for this track has changed since the last time I've really paid attention to it, so I might be a little confused. But what used to be turn four, I guess, is now turn two. Coming out of that turn two, going on that back straightaway, you got to feather that throttle coming out. If you go too hard on that throttle coming out of that turn, only thing you're going to do is turn that car to the left, and if somebody's right behind you, they're going to probably take off your back bumper. So you definitely got to be what's the terminology for the throttle?
You got to drive it like there's an egg underneath your gas
Yeah,
pedal.
exactly. You got to be very light on that throttle coming out. Now, once you get to that straightaway, uh, on that back straight, you go once that car is straight, you go all the way to the floor until you get to that next turn. Braking points is going to be big in here. Everybody's gonna have different braking points, so everybody's gonna have to watch the cars around them so they don't come crashing right in the back of them.
Yeah, and you can see even, if you look at your screen here, you can see the cones on the side of the walls there. Those are really what you want to use in order to, figure out your braking points. And like you said, Lester, I agree totally that, a lot of people are going to have different braking points. I think the name of the game here, that I think what's going to give you the most success, is going to be backing that corner up and trying to get the run off. And like you said, on that backstretch, so dangerous. If you get loose right there, or if you hit the wall, there's walls all around you and not a lot of room for these guys to get around.
Yeah, these guys are gonna go 200 miles uh, tonight, saving your tires and saving your car for that last run with 20 laps to go. That's going to be the key to winning this race. If you go out there and you just burn up your tires like you have unlimited tire wear, you're going to pay for it at the end of this race. Where somebody who sits there and does that feathering of the gas just a little more than the guy in front of him, yeah, he's going to be fast in the beginning, but eventually those tires are going to go out and you're going to reel them right back in and eventually pass them. So tires is a big name of the game, and when you talk about tires, you got to talk about setups. Setups will save your tires if you have the right setup on there. Uh, it's easier for you to save on that tire wear. So setups and tire wear is going to be the biggest thing tonight.
Yeah, gas probably not going to be a huge concern. I mean, I know we kind of talked about it before the broadcast here. 80 laps is about what we think you can make it. And I think before 80 laps comes around, I think you're going to be wanting to pit for tires. I don't think gas is going to be really the main thing you're going to be so concerned about. And I think you're right though. I mean, if you just kind of take it easy, you could be that guy that loses a lot of time early. But if if you take care of those tires, it's going to come back to you, and you're going to be able to drive right around these guys. Um, might not be the easiest thing to drive around these guys, just considering I think it's very difficult to pass here at this track too. Because I mean, when you're side by side, it's so hard to get the momentum down on the corner. we talked about that. I mean, if you're side by side, you talk about treating that pedal like it's got an egg underneath it. You gotta even do it double time for when you're side by side.
Yeah, most definitely. Uh, and another thing about it is, if you save your tire, it's a lot easier to pass on this track if that car in front of you uh, is floating up to the top of the to track while you're sticking it down on the bottom. You're able to stick all the way to the bottom, and the old additive is really like excruciating important. Sometimes, in order to go faster, you got to go slower. Entering that turn a lot slower than the next guy might give you the advantage coming out of the turns and coming out a lot faster. And exit speed is definitely a must because of the way this track is configured. Exit speed is definitely a necessity at this track.
100%. Well, let's take, while these guys are out here qualifying, we'll take the time to talk about our point standings out here after race 3. Michael Thorpe right now is in the points lead. He has a total of 393 points. 10 points behind him is Jeremy Coors in second place. Only thing about Jeremy is he's not here right now, I don't believe. So
No,
that this could be a big shift here in points because Jeremy not being here. Tristan Evil right now is in third place in the points. Chris Basinger, who just completed a qualifying lap, I do believe, is in fourth place. And rounding out our top 5 in points, Joshua Slade.
and Joshua Slade with that big win at Las Vegas last week has propelled him up into the top 5. And like you said, the biggest story tonight is Jeremy Coors not here at the racetrack, not in the race, will not receive any points. So he definitely probably will not be in that second place at the end of this race. So that opens the door for not only for Michael Thorpe to extend his lead if he wins the race tonight, but all these other guys that's right behind him, like your Christopher Basinger, Tristan Evil, and Joshua Slade, to leapfrog him in the standings.
Yeah, we talked to Michael Thorpe last week, and he seemed very disappointed, I think, because I believe he finished second, if I'm not mistaken, last week.
He did
But
finish
he
second.
has been having a picture of consistency type of season thus far. I mean, he gets all disappointed he didn't win the race, but, I mean, he has gotten such good finishes. Has not won a race yet this season, but still is out in front of the points. I mean, that just goes to show you don't necessarily have to win the race to be the points leader.
Oh, I'm a big talker about consistency, winning races or winning championships. Uh, Winning a race is all fun and dandy, but when it comes down to it, you're racing for that championship, and I would rather have 10 top 5 finishes than one win.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'd much rather have that too. I mean, I don't get that disappointed when I don't win. I'm usually top 5 is good for me, but that's probably one reason I'm up here and they're down there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the way. I raced a truck official the first race I did at Phoenix this week, and I said, all right, I don't know the track. I'm going to start in the back, and everybody was so set on trying to get to the front that they forgot how to drive, and a lot of crashes happened. And I ended up working my way all the way up to fourth, and I was extremely happy with a fourth place finish at a track I'd never been to for the whole week. So, consistency makes a big difference when it comes to the championship points. Wins are great, and you get those trophies, you bring them home, but when it comes down to it, consistency in the championship means a lot more.
100%. And it looks like qualifying is soon to wrap up here. Just a couple seconds remaining. But I do believe, that sets the field. The only person that has qualified is Kenny Heath. Kenny Heath is actually going to be, I do believe, race control here tonight. So we can probably go ahead and do the standings here. David Halsey grabbing the pole. Nice job from him. Second place is going to belong to Michael Hayes. Third place, Dale Brooks. Last week's winner, or actually, I should say, at the Dale Brooks Senior Classic. Got to give him a huge credit for that win. You can't write that stuff. You can't make it up. Tristan Evil going to qualify fourth. Michael Thorpe in fifth. Sixth is going to be Stephen Hayes. And if you want to take the rest of the field there, Mr. Lester.
All right. Seventh is going to be Christopher Basinger. Eighth is Joshua Slade. Ninth is going to go to Jason Schilling. 10th is William Brown. Steve Gerber is going to qualify 11th. Jeffrey Weimer is 12th. 13 goes to Brian Ricker, and that wraps up the whole field there. And these guys there's gonna be 13 cars buying for a win tonight. Usually these guys, usually we have 18 or 19. We have some people definitely missing from the track tonight, but we're gonna still race this with 13 cars and gonna have a really good showing.
Yeah, there are a couple people missing. I know Don Blazer was one that said that he wasn't going to be able to make it tonight. Technical issues he was having, so unfortunate for that.
Yeah, we got Don Blazer missing. We got Jeremy Kors missing, as we talked about earlier. We have one driver. I won't call him out, but we have one driver under suspension for this one race. Hopefully, we get to see him back next week. A couple other guys that I'm seeing that we're probably missing. I just can't think of the names. Ricky Hudgens is not out there tonight either. So
yeah, that's definitely he definitely a big name not out there. Ricky Hudgens,
definitely a fixture from earlier on in our seasons in the trucks. Ricky Hudgens been with us since season 1. I think he came in through the middle way of season 1, but he's definitely going to be missed tonight because he's made almost every race. I think he's made every race here in the Xfinity, so he's going to take a big hit on points as well. But right now, David Halsey's going to lead these guys off of pit road and onto the track.
Yeah, and one thing about this track is, the starts here are awful funny. I mean, you see that pace car go down way earlier than you would expect.
Yeah. Well, in the the rule for Global is the first race. The first start always goes on green. As you see the pace car pulling off the track and going down pit road. Now the start finish line has moved. It used to be right about there a couple of seasons ago, but now it's all the way around to turn 4 or past turn 4 up onto the new front stretch, which used to be right after the dog leg.
Here we go, the green flag set to come out.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. David Halsey gets a start, and that outside line does not get a good start. And look at him. Oh, you got Christopher Basinger back there. But everybody looks like they're good and hold on to it. But that could have been a big old calamity happening back there.
Yeah, very much could have. As we see someone else having some problems, I do believe that is Brian Ricker falling back to the rear.
And right now, the top 3 is David Halsey, Michael Hayes, and last week's truck winner of Dale Brooks Classic, Dale Brooks himself, up there in 3rd place.
Yeah, that was a good save. I got to say from Christopher Basinger. I mean, that could have been terrible. I mean, I'm shocked that he was able to keep control of that vehicle.
Yeah, that was definitely good wheel man right there, and able to keep it straight and not take out half the field.
Stephen Hayes right now fighting side by side with Tristan Evil. Tristan Evil going high. He gets a little bit of that outside wall. That high side, I mean, I understand why you want to run it, just because you're able to get so much more momentum up there. But I think that it burns your tires up more running up there.
Yeah, I've never been a wall rider myself. I just always afraid that wall is going to reach out and touch me and going to ruin my day. So I try to stay off that wall. I like that yellow line, that safe yellow line.
We see Brian Ricker and William Brown right now battling it out. Brown on his way forward here. He has managed to claw his way up to 10.
New paint job for that 27 this week. It's kind of unique.
David Halsey still in control of this race. I think one of the key factors also to this kind of a track, it's got to be clean versus dirty air. You see a big wiggle there from David Halsey, slows him down, gets Michael Hayes right alongside. This could be a challenge for the lead. Michael Hayes, I think he's got it. I don't know, big run from David Halsey on
Hayes
the top.
is going to lead that one lap.
still battling though, still side-by-side drag race for the lead. You can see the different lines that you can take through that dog leg. I mean, you got, David Holsey was all the way at the top, but you got Michael Hayes really trying to cut that track as much as he can. And that's another thing that's kind of a little bit controversial about this track is that dog leg. Is it helping you? Is it not helping you? Does it hurt the tires?
Well, David Hosey was able to force his way back in front of Michael Hayes there for the lead. Michael Hayes was able to lead one lap and get that bonus points.
Oh, Michael Thorpe getting into the wall a little bit here, but he is trying to move his way forward, trying to catch Dale Brooks. It's like going to get a little bit of a scrape there. Not too big of a hit, though.
Yeah. At this point, of the race, you just want to stay in sight. Risk versus reward. If the risk is too high right now, the reward is not going to match. So right now he's under fire from Stephen Hayes now. He was moving up, but now after that damage that he got on that side of that car, he's probably a little bit ailing right now.
Yeah, definitely probably hurt that car somewhat. We also got a group of cars back here trying to catch up here to Tristan Evil. We see Christopher Bassinger. He's been doing a great job right there in 7th place, even after that, big problem he had earlier. Jason Schilling putting a lot of pressure on that 11.
And those are teammates right there. So if Jason gets a run on Christopher, I imagine Christopher is not going to fight him too much at this stage of the. If it was for the win, I would say yeah, they're going to fight each other. But right now, Jeffrey Weimer is up there. He gets around Jason Schilling.
And even right behind there, you see Brian Ricker and William Brown still dueling. Joshua Slade involved here. And look at Ricker all the way onto the apron. That is an interesting line to be running.
And Steve Gerber, I do believe, if I heard right, Steve Gerber does not like this track. He is not having fun with this track this week. He's back here in 13th place, last car in the field. But go back here and show Steve some love, even though he right now he is not liking this track.
Looks like it. I mean, but you never know. I mean, just him surviving if he just sticks with it, persistent. I mean, these other guys, this is still a long race, long way to go. Had a really good start. Could see some guys have some problems as these tires start wearing. I mean, tires are already, causing these guys to fall off a half a second.
Yeah. And it looks like the first 3 guys are happy to stay in line right now and get some of these laps up. The first battle back here is between Michael Thorpe and Stephen Hayes, but that seems to be kind of leveled out right now, and they just kind of follow the leader as they go around the track here.
I almost feel like maybe Thorpe burned this stuff up a little bit there, trying to get up there to the back of Dale Brooks, and just, that's kind of what happens. The first 5 laps, especially at a track like this, I mean, are so important to how the rest of the run's going to go. I mean, if you burn those things up early, you're going to be feeling that for the rest of the run until you go take a new set of tires. So, it does pay to take it a little bit easier. Let those temperatures on those tires build up naturally and gradually.
Yeah, and we're watching Jeffrey Weimer here. He's racing with the 11 car. He's also being under pressure from the 95 car. Now, if you watch the 11 car, he likes to go down and grab a hold of that dog leg. Where the 73, he stays on the track. Well, let me see if we can see a good shot right there.
Yeah, he definitely does not go near as deep as the 11, and he's getting a good run too, able to keep the momentum. That's why I'm kind of a proponent of not taking the dog leg like a lot of these guys do, because you're able to hold so much momentum, and it sets you up going into the next couple of corners.
Oh, I'm with you on that one. I don't, unless there's somebody on my outside and I'm going there, I might take it just to stay off of that other car. But if I'm driving by myself or I'm driving behind somebody, I'm staying right there on the track because I like the slingshot effect that it gives you.
Tristan Evil under fire here. That's Christopher Bassinger right there on him. Also further up ahead, you see Michael Thorpe and Stephen Hayes trading
Yeah,
positions.
yeah, they've been battling for the last 2 or 3 laps. Stephen Hayes will get underneath him, but Michael Hayes powers back on that outside, as you see right here. Oh, sorry, did I say Michael Hayes? I mean Michael Thorpe battles on that top side.
Yeah, he gets a good run there up on the top side. And that's what I was saying earlier. You know, this place is very difficult when it comes to passing. I mean, it is not easy. I mean, especially if the guy's able to hold that defensive line, run a little bit higher, and get that momentum.
Now you see
Michael
Thorpe.
Hayes is going to try to get up on top. I'm sorry, Stephen Hayes.
Yeah, we see Michael Thorpe that time shooting way down that dogleg, trying to get that extra grip and that straightaway speed. But as you see, it does not do him any bit of advantage because Stephen Hayes is still right there behind him.
Yeah, I want to say, you know, Thorpe's adding to the pressure on those tires. I think he's hurting them even more. But then again, I think that Michael Thorpe's almost pushing Stephen Hayes to work his tires a little bit harder than he can be too.
Back up front, David Holsey still continue to lead, but Michael Hayes and Dale Brooks is right there.
And I almost feel like they're happy to just stay right here behind David Holsey. I think that they know that this is going to be the long game. If we all kind of stay together right now, we're going to drive away from the rest of these guys, and we can fight at a later time. You know, they have a tentative treaty going on right now.
Yeah, because our 3 leaders, they ran 27.6. Pretty much all 3 of them did. Also, Michael Thorpe ran a 27.6 as well. So everybody in the top 4 or top 5 are right there mimicking each other in speeds. You'd have to go back to Tristan Evil, who is running. He's the one hurting the most. He's running 28 flats. And everybody behind him is running 27.8, 27.9. So a lot of different speeds out there on the track. I shouldn't say a lot of different speeds, but the top 3 guys are mirroring each other. Oh, look, Dale Brooks just getting down there on that apron, and I call that a dangerous apron because getting down there, even if you can get the advantage on somebody, that car up ahead doesn't have to let you back up. You know, it's your responsibility to come back up safely. I just don't like the risk or the reward for that.
Yeah, when it gets closer to the end of the race, I think it's worth it. Not now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dale Brooks trying desperately to get there, to get underneath Michael Hayes, to get something going here. Just not able to do it.
Oh, here we
he's
go.
going to get underneath. I think he's not going to get a hold of momentum.
And
hey, he's going to try for the lead here. We do have a battle going on in this top 3. This is where to watch it. This is pretty exciting, and I think if Brooks plays this right, he just goes up there and follows Holsey, he might find his way around Hayes here.
And nothing but good battling up here in these top 3 positions between David Holsey, Mike Hayes, and Dale Brooks. I mean, just exciting racing every lap.
100%. Also,
Dale Brooks just did a big slide job right there on. Michael Hayes does a crossover. Dale Brooks just did a big slide job right off and allowed David Holsey to break away.
Yeah, he's definitely getting a little too desperate. Probably going to have a lot of heat in them tires because of that.
Yeah.
And you could see that top 2 start to pull away from Dale Brooks. Wanted to talk about a little bit further back. We saw Tristan Evil and Chris Bassinger kind of fighting back there. It looks like that 11 has gotten clear and is starting to try to drive his way forward and try to catch up to Stephen Hayes.
And now the 73 is looking on the inside of Tristan Evil. So Tristan Evil, our 3rd place runner in the point standings, is having some difficulties right now keeping his car going the right way, and he's falling back in the clutches of the 73 of Jeff Weimer.
Yeah, Jeff Weimer and that Jack Daniels machine looking really strong here so far. Not a surprise at all seeing him really starting to come alive in this season. But what a track this is. I mean, we're going to see this track changing as this race goes on. And one thing about it, the first pit stop these guys have to make, I wouldn't be surprised to see if they're laying in some adjustments to try to keep up with this track.
Yeah, back up front, we see Michael Hayes catching back up with that 57 of David Halsey. Dale Brooks continuing to catch up as well. So I think him dropping back after that slide job and try to maybe recool his tires back down.
Yeah, looks like they have kind of coalesced back on one another. I just think that clean air is really what's given David Halsey such an advantage, making it so hard for these guys to pass. Tell you what, I've just been really impressed with that 11 car. I mean, he's been driving his way up through this field. He's in 6th place right now, starting to really catch up to Stephen Hayes. And some problems.
Ooh, Jeff Weimer. Jeff Weimer touches that wall just slightly.
That's going to give an opportunity here to Joshua Slade. Yeah, looking at it practice before this race, we saw Joshua Slade was struggling a lot with this track. But it looks like when race time shows up, when it's race time, he shows up.
Oh yeah, Joshua Slade. He's definitely one of those racers out there that he's always there. If you sleep on him, he's going to make you pay for it. So he's definitely somebody you need to watch out for on the track, especially when checkups supposed to happen.
Battle for the lead right now. Michael Hayes still trying to challenge David Halsey. Can he make this happen? I don't think he will. Now he's going to be under fire from Dale Brooks. So Dale Brooks trying to take away 2nd place. So still some heavy fighting going on here for this lead. Man, this is definitely some exciting fighting.
All right. Let me see. Let's see if we got anybody out there in YouTube got any comments. If you're out there and you're watching either on PMN or Global Racing Esports Network and you got some shout outs you want to do, you want to tell us who you think's going to win this race, you want to tell us who your favorite driver is, let us know. We'll give them a shout out.
David Halsey managing to still, stay out front. I mean, that is quite an accomplishment that he's able to hold these guys off like he is. I mean, now Dale Brooks trying to size him up. Could we see the same thing happen that just happened to Michael Hayes? I just think it's so hard to pass, especially at this point. The tires are wearing so badly. I mean, you see these guys' lap times, 29 flaps versus what they hit initially, 27.6. I mean, that's almost a second and a half that we're seeing a fall off already.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, these guys' fastest lap, or their best lap. Dale Brooks' fastest lap was a 27.69. Now they're running 28.99. That's almost 2 seconds fall off in the 35 laps. Now these guys' fuel run is about 80 laps. But I don't think they're gonna make it 80 laps on these tires.
Yeah, definitely. We got Dale Brooks Sr. out there in the chat saying good racing up front. We definitely agree with that. It has been some exciting racing out here thus far. As Dale Brooks still trying to capture this lead. I think he might have him. I mean, he is looking very strong on that bottom right now, and this is where the setup shines. And we know Brooks is very good at adjusting on his car. I'm telling you what, loving the competition we're seeing right now, though, between all these drivers. It looks like Dale Brooks does capture the lead. Finally, someone dethrones David Halsey.
Yeah, but David Halsey's still trying to. Oh, now he's under pressure from the 99 of Mike Hayes. Dale Brooks showed Mike Hayes how to get around David Halsey. Now he's trying it himself.
Yeah, that 99 trying to make something happen. He's right alongside. Oh, getting real close. Oh, big wiggle there for Michael
Oh,
Hayes, he's able
good
to save
save.
it there. Yeah, I
Great
mean,
save.
wow.
Now Michael
Shocked he was
Thorpe.
able to keep that thing underneath him there.
Yeah, Michael Thorpe is able to break away a little bit from Stephen Hayes. That battle is quiet down, but now Christopher Basinger being under pressure by William Brown and Joshua Slade. What is, oh, wow, that's some close racing right there.
I thought, we talked about it before about how these braking zones, you know, people have different braking zones. I think Joshua Slade found out what Christopher Basinger's braking zone was just now.
Yeah, exactly. And it looked like the 7 was about to push the 11 all the way back into the 27 there for a minute.
You don't push the pusher, even if it's at Phoenix.
Yeah, these two guys, these two William Brown Motorsports guys, they are moving.
Yeah, not a surprise. I mean, we've always seen William Brown be able to just hit the ground running and be so quick without even having pretty much a lick of practice.
Yeah, William Brown is good. He's kind of scary good.
Still, we are green. I mean, this has been a very clean race thus far. Have not seen a caution yet, and we're already on lap 40. I mean, this thing is flying right on by. David Holsey and Michael Hayes still trying to fight it out, though. But looks like Holsey has that position still in security. Dale Brooks, though, driving away right now. About 6/10 he has on those guys. So, you know, that's one of those things. I told you how hard it is to pass. I mean, you know, once he got past those two guys, Brooks is now spreading his wings and flying away.
Yeah, he's definitely chasing the sun here in Phoenix.
Rise of the Phoenix, right?
Rise of the Phoenix. So hopefully he don't fly too close to the sun.
Yeah, definitely don't want to fly too close to that sun. But William Brown and Stephen Hayes right now battling side by side for the 5th position. It's crazy to see that, though. You know, like I was saying earlier about Joshua Slade, seeing him in practice, looked like he was just struggling. Did not seem like he had a lot of speed at all. But then, you know, he shows up out here when it's race time. He puts on, you know, the helmet, gets his game face on, and he's doing a good job right now, waiting to see how this fight in front of him goes. Of course, he's probably going to try to go with his buddy William Brown.
All right. William Brown finally makes the pass over Stephen Hayes, and here comes Joshua Slade trying to pass Stephen Hayes as well. Stephen Hayes' car is not acting like he wants it to act. Under fire from 7, and then his teammate Christopher Basinger looking in and seeing if he can make a pass on him as well. It just looks like all these cars are just getting so loose coming off of turn 2. Oh, 13. Getting really close to the back end of this 7 car of Joshua Slade.
Yeah, Joshua Slade able to complete that pass. Hopefully he didn't get turned around in the process. And so he's going to try to catch up here to William Brown. And I think what we talked about earlier about how tires, how important they are, and if you take care of them, you know, early, I think that's what we're seeing right now. I think a lot of the guys that we're seeing starting to struggle are ones that maybe weren't taking care of their tires earlier.
Yeah. Well, what we're seeing now is Michael Hayes passing David Holsey for 2nd place up here in the front. Dale Brooks pulling away. Well, we're not actually pulling away anymore. It looks like he's kind of stabilized at a little bit over a second on the new 2nd place of Michael Hayes. Dave Holsey in 3rd. Michael Thorpe being steady, sitting there in 4th place, right outside of the top 3.
Yeah. Dale Brooks coming up on some lap traffic, but really the race right now, William Brown fighting right now with Joshua Slade. Slade takes over 5th place. And I'm curious to see how this happens with Dale Brooks getting by this lap car too. I do believe that is Brian Ricker up there getting ready to. He's actually 2
no.
laps down already.
I think I thought he had already passed Brian Ricker.
No, he has. I don't believe he has.
He was just right behind him. Well, that's weird. After 48 laps, the Dale Brooks and Mike Hayes and Dave Halsey, they're still running similar times. I mean, it's like Dale Brooks is 28.82. Mike Hayes is a 28.96. Dave Halsey is a 28.95. Everybody's right there running equal times with each other. It's really hard to pass when you're running the same speed as the guy in front of you.
100%. I mean, it's impossible to pass, and you know, I think that kind of builds up a lot of frustration in these guys. Is what are you? Of course, not this early in the race, but as if you have a tough time passing someone, as you have those problems over and over and over again, you keep trying to pass them. After a while, that frustration builds up enough to where you might be willing to use that bumper.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not this race. We seen it earlier. Dale Brooks having a really fast car and being stuck behind somebody, and he gets a little aggressive, tries to get that little extra ump, and ends up hurting him in the long run. He does a slide, gets crossed over, and he loses so much momentum because he's sliding and he can't go forward.
I'll tell you someone running some blazing fast laps. Joshua Slade right now.
Jeffrey Weimer is in the pits. First car to come down pit road, and he's out. He gets 4 tires, and it looked like he got 4 tires. Let's see.
I was looking at the lap times here going on from Joshua Slade. I mean, he is really driving his way forward here. I think he's going to catch Michael Thorpe here eventually. Might even make his way up into the top 3. I mean, looking at his lap times, he's almost just as fast as those guys up in the top 3. But I will say Dale Brooks really quick right now, 28.874 versus second place, 28.976. So I think Dale Brooks and Michael Hayes clearly right now are the class of the field.
Yeah, David Halsey led most of the opening laps of this race, and now he's fallen back to 2.5 seconds behind Dale Brooks. So the long run is definitely not benefiting David Halsey. And these guys, they race in the officials all week long to get the practice so they can come in here on Saturday night and race with the league. And you get so used to those officials being like a wreck fest and you're under caution. Sometimes you find yourself setting your car up for a lot of cautions, and it ends up messing with you when you come here to a league race that, these are the top tier guys. These are the cream of the crop, the best guys that we have in global. And you just don't see the yellow flags as much. So, sometimes you might bring that wrong setup. You might bring a fast setup for, first 20, 30 laps, but then it goes away.
Oh, I think that's exactly what we're probably seeing from a lot of these guys. They're not expecting to have to go this long, or also the conditions of the track could be different than what they've had in the official too. Probably going to see some guys maybe make some tire pressure adjustments out here, maybe to do something to try to maybe extend their longer runs, or maybe it's just something the way they're driving it too. I mean, like you said, being an official, if you have a lot of cautions, the way you drive it's also different than what the setup you'd use.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we try to get these guys prepared for the best, and that's why we kind of follow the iRacing schedule, so they have as many races as they want or able to practice during the week and get into these official races. And the races get set up just like the officials do, where it's a realistic weather. So these guys have already faced this weather. If they raced in the official races, I guarantee you they raced this weather pattern at least once or twice during the course of the week. So they should all be ready for the track conditions.
Well, it does look like we have some battling going on. William Brown side by side, getting ready to go 3 wide as these guys have caught Michael Thorpe. And it is going to be a slugfest back here as I think everyone's scrambling for position. William Brown looks like he's going to take that spot away from Joshua Slade. Now going to go on the top side, going to try to pass to Michael Thorpe. Thorpe almost about to be in the middle, about to be a sandwich here.
Thorpe sandwich there, and Thorpe coming down low on that apron as Joshua Slade was doing the same thing. That could have definitely been dangerous for the 34 and the 7. And right now Michael Thorpe is trying his hardest to keep his position and fight back. But the more you fight back, the worse those tires are going to get. And right now the 27, 34 goes around. Caution is out for the 34. And I don't think, it doesn't look like there was contact. I think, but we'll go back here and look at this. And let me see. I'm gonna set it up onto the front bumper there. Let's look at the nose of the 7.
I don't think there was contact that caused that. I don't believe so.
I agree. I think that air kind of got him turned around. Let me see. Here we go. And 34 comes down and he gets in front. No, there was no contact from the 7. The 34 just gets the air packed in behind him and gets turned around. But luckily for the 34, he does not hit anything.
Yeah,
so
that could have definitely been a nasty spill there.
Yeah, exactly. He
will. That's going to be a well-timed caution for a lot of these other guys, and I think they're probably like, "Thank you."
So now we will watch. I'm gonna play the race coming outside, and you just, like I said, you just see Thorpe, and he loses it right there, and he spins into the infield. But luckily for him, there's nothing there for him to crash into, so he's going to get back underway and lose a lot of positions. But I'd rather lose a lot of positions than lose my car. And you see the race off of pit road here. Looks like David Holsey.
Position game for William Brown there, I do believe. It looks like Holsey went in second place off pit road. Interesting call we got here from Christopher Bassinger. It looks like he is going to go down pit road. I was a little worried. I was like, I don't know if this is a good call for you to stay out on 60-lap old tires.
Yeah, I think he might have just stayed out there to lead a lap.
Yeah, just to get some much needed points. It looks like Dale Brooks is going to keep the lead here, and I'm curious what he's going to be able to do, not having to race. Or he'll still have to race these guys, but he'll have that clean air, and we saw how Holsey was able to stay up front for so long. I'm wondering if Dale Brooks is going to, be able to pull away here or have these guys made adjustments. I mean, with a caution coming out, you have a lot more opportunity to make an adjustment considering you're not really racing when you're putting those in. Because, I mean, imagine trying to put in an adjustment when you're, your green flag. That's definitely not easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I mean, you're some of these guys have boxes built in where they can talk to their crew chief. For people like me who don't have that, it's a scramble trying to do all these changes while you're racing. Especially for me, I race in VR, so it's even extra hard on me. I got to feel around to try to find my mouse. Once I find my mouse, I got to change my relative, get the right box open. It's quite a handful.
Oh yeah, especially if you're green, when you're under yellow, that's not maybe as bad. But when you're under green flag racing, and you're doing all that while you're on this track where you have to have these braking points, I mean, as soon as you look away, you could be, I'm wrecking,
And we talked about it in the first initial start where the pace car does go down. He'll be leaving the track and going down pit lane any second now coming into this turn. These guys will hold their pattern until they get to that Geico restart zone, and then Dale Brooks will have full control over how fast they start. So definitely want to put that out there and let everybody know, even though most of the time the restarts are on the leaders. This time, as a group, everybody has decided to start the restarts in the restart zone.
And Mr. Dale Brooks commenting out there asking, why was there a caution? He wasn't on the racing surfaces. Well, you got to ask iRacing that. One thing, about this kind of track, too, because the dog leg is open and ready for racing, a lot of the apron on this track does cause caution. Green flag. That would you say, Lester?
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, he might have not been on. I think they initially started spinning, and he was on the surface, and he was in front of a bunch of cars. So I think that's why the yellow was thrown. It was thrown like immediately. And you see Stephen Hayes, or not Stephen Hayes, Mike Hayes. Oh, breaking points. There, friggin'. I think Mike didn't realize Dale was gonna check up and break that, and had to do some invasive maneuvers. And look at William Brown challenging for the 3rd place and 2nd place from starting all the way back in 13th or 14th position today. He's up 7 positions, so that's 11 positions that he started, and he's making his march up and trying to make up for not racing the first 3 races in the Xfinity cars.
Yeah, looking very quick as we see Joshua Slade actually take over the 4th spot. And you mentioned about Dale Brooks and his different breaking points. I mean, I gotta say, this is so important. I think it's so valuable to maybe back up your corners. I mean, what you see, a lot of the it's not gonna look pretty when you're backing up in the corners. You're gonna feel like, oh, I'm going so slow through these corners. It really adds up when it comes to lap time. I mean, it doesn't look all pretty. You're not drifting it through the corners.
And there's
but
no
friction. That's the way to do it.
There's less friction on your tires. Your tires aren't getting heat up from the strain of, I guess it's the G-force that you make when you whip that car down there. So the less speed you got going in there, the better for your tires, and when you actually do get on the gas, it's still got that grip. So slower is definitely faster on this track.
Battle of the Steves going on right now. You talked about Steve Gerber not really liking this track. You look like he's doing okay right now. Got some little bit of speed in that racing car. And you see Michael Thorpe trying to work his way back forward. You saw he was the cause of the caution. He's going to try to almost take him 3 wide here, man.
And he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful that. I know he's probably aggravated, and he's probably mad at himself for losing control, and he's trying to get up there and get those positions back because he knows he's got a fast car. But if you don't have a little bit of patience and have a little bit of self-control, the next time you spin out, it might be a little bit worse than last time. So he needs to just take it easy and Malak,
And it's easy to dwell on mistakes and stuff to be made, and heck, I wouldn't even be surprised if Thorpe right now thinks that Joshua Slade wrecked him.
I mean, it's very well possible that that's on his mind. These guys don't have any kind of iRacing communication, so they can't talk to each other or nothing like that. But hopefully there's somebody there in Thorpe's ear saying, "Hey, man, you slid by yourself." But we'll see how it goes. At the end of the race, we'll definitely talk to everybody. And
yeah, because one thing about racing, we all have so much fun racing and calling these things, but when you're actually out there in the seat and your perspective from that cockpit, could be wrong. And your emotions are also really high too. I mean, when you're out there in that race car, you want to do as best as you can. You get emotionally invested in it. When something goes wrong, you get upset.
Oh, most definitely. I mean, we see it every weekend on the Xfinity cars on Saturday night, and definitely on the trucks on Sunday afternoons. you might make a mistake and somebody else friggin' like, you know, gets into you, and you're mad at that other person, even though the initial mistake was yours. I've been guilty of that too. You know, I make a bad move that causes somebody else to get into me, and you know, the best policy is just think about what you're doing out there. Uh, Let the
Wait until you
admins
see the
take
replay.
yeah, watch the replay and then get mad if getting mad uh if you're supposed to get mad. But
I'll
Dale
tell you what,
Brooks out
man.
here, Dale Brooks and
Yeah.
Mike Hayes has moved away from the third place of William Brown by a little bit over a second. I think Mike Hayes, just like before, he just tucked in behind the leader and trying to get some laps under their belts.
Yeah, just try not to burn those things up, and try not to fight each other. And I think that's what they're trying to do right now. I'm sure, but I think if Michael Hayes had it his way, he probably would be trying to pass Dale Brooks right now. But I think he does have the long game in mind. I think he's like, I can't. If I try to challenge him right now, I'm just going to end up burning my tires up prematurely. I just need to put some pressure on him. I mean, Dale Brooks, I know Dale Brooks is a seasoned, veteran of Global Racing League. But, I mean, he's going to be looking in that rearview mirror. If he sees you at all times, it's going to push him to go a little bit faster and burn his equipment up.
Well, it's definitely. I mean, it's the mind games that you got to play out there. Not necessarily the best racer wins the race. Sometimes it's the smartest racer wins the race.
I mean, this is like chess on wheels as we see Joshua Slade still trying to make something happen on William Brown. And I think this is why these guys maybe have fallen off a little bit, is because Joshua Slade's trying to maybe tussle with William Brown. And maybe if they would line up, they might have a chance of catching those guys ahead.
Well, I mean, these guys started moving up through the field like halfway through that run. They might have set their cars up for the long run. William Brown, I think he just gets into a car. Not really sure if he puts a mouse in that thing and tells the mouse to keep on going.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I mean, we saw it later in the run. Those guys started working forward. Could see that happen again. Tell you what, I mean, I bet someone he's probably wishing they had made some changes. Their car's got to be David Holsey. I mean, just looking so strong early in this race, led a lot of laps. Now back here in fifth.
Yeah, I was thinking that south end, and we've seen this a lot throughout our seasons. Somebody be really great out there in the front with that clean air, and as soon as they get past or they lose it on pit road or whatever makes them have to be back in the middle behind cars, their car is just not the same. We've seen it with Tristan Evil plenty of times. He'd be so great, be dominating out front, and the minute he gets dirty air in front of him, his car just goes away. So that's probably what we're seeing here from that 57 of Dave Holsey. His car does not like dirty air.
Yeah, I bet you're right for sure. Or also could be just trying to save his equipment. But I think you're on the money though. I think that it is something to do with the dirty air.
And as you said earlier in the broadcast, this race is going to change through the course of the race. I mean, more rubber is going to be put down, so your car is definitely going to react differently when there's more rubber and more grip on that track. So sometimes it'll tighten it up, and you got to go in there and make them changes and loosen that thing up, or you're not going to be racing the same way as you did at the start of this race.
Definitely such a unique racetrack this is. I mean, you don't see anything like it in NASCAR, that's for sure. I mean, it's the only one of its kind. And
oh yeah, and it is it's real fun race to race. If you're one of those guys who likes drivers tracks, this is definitely a driver's track. You have to be a wheel man. You got to be a brake man. You got to be an accelerator man. You got to be all aspects of this car in order to get around this track at a quick rate of speed. Racing in the trucks is a lot more easier than racing in these Xfinity cars. These Xfinity cars are just naturally loose. So not only are these guys battling the track, they're also battling them cars.
Yeah, these Xfinity cars are very difficult to drive to begin with. I mean, we saw how I think a lot of people had a tricky time even at Las Vegas last week. I mean, so imagine coming to, a mile racetrack such as this, to where you do have some different banking. You got that dog leg. I mean, and this car is just such a, hard car to handle anyway. I mean, I'd say it could get tight. It's so finicky. It get loose. I mean, it can go either way. I mean, you pretty much out here driving a brick. That's what the Xfinity car is. And I would assume very difficult to set these cars up too. So you know that a lot of these teams had to be spending a lot of time just working on these cars. And luckily they did have the official. I mean, I know it's week 13. I mean, usually week 13 a lot of the series don't run. Luckily the Xfinity still does.
Right now I'm riding in here with our leaders, Dale Brooks, and you can see that he's got smooth. He turns that wheel real smoothly into these turns. You see him peg out his RPMs, and he gets down about the 6,000 RPMs, and then you see that he just feathers that accelerator coming out of that turn, gets on that straightaway, and goes full throttle again.
Yeah, just gradually gets back on it. I mean, it's an art form, and especially with the tire wear, it changes almost every lap. You have to be ready for it, to improvise and know the feeling of that car before you can get back on that gas. I mean, you can see it right now. I mean, the way he's turning right now, if he got back on that gas too hard, that thing would spin around.
Exactly. I mean, and not to mention that these turns, none of the turns are the same. It's not your basically hairpin or bobby pin or paperclip tracks. It's these turns 1 and 2 are different from 3 and 4. So it takes two different techniques of getting into them.
Yeah, 100%. Very different. Straightaways too. I mean, you see one where you're surrounded by walls, and one where it's just a huge dog leg and a curve, which is, I mean, that should be counted as a turn itself. I
mean, yeah, you think it would be. Again, I like to give a shout out to all the viewers out there in YouTube and Twitch, and thank you guys for joining us tonight for Global Racing Xfinity Series. I'm Mike Lester with Global Racing Esports Network, along with Brian Britt of Performance Motor Network. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Yeah, definitely appreciate everybody out there tuning in and watching. We got some problems going on here for Christopher Basiger as he tries to get by Tristan Evil, gets real loose, big wiggle there in that car. Still some battling going on here for the 6th position.
And that's that dirty air that we're talking about. It's so easy to catch the 17 because you see the 11 just come up there and catch him. But once he gets that nose behind the back end of the 17 car, it takes that downforce off, and the front back end just wants to start wiggling around on him.
I mean, these cars don't produce a lot of downforce as it is. I mean, so, anytime you remove some of that air that goes on that front nose, it's definitely going to affect the handling of your car.
Yeah, I remember the first time I got out of the D class and got into C class racing, and I definitely was not ready for how much the air plays a big part in these racing those trucks. And I got behind somebody thinking I was just going to tuck in behind them and just run, and my car got so loose I quit the race. I said, I can't race this thing.
And you're talking about the trucks. I mean,
yeah.
This is even worse than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think the first time I drove an Xfinity car, I think I went crying home to Mama saying it was no fair.
Yeah, Xfinity definitely tough Tristan Evil getting a big wiggle there as he tries to get around David Holsey. And you're seeing a lot of these guys that are going down on that apron. They're getting loose down there. So that, and I think another thing that you talked about earlier about how as this race goes on, rubber's going to get laid down on the track. Well, I guarantee you a lot of rubber not getting laid down there, and probably some debris you can pick up down there too.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, there's more rubber being put on the track every lap, so they get the marbles on there, and your wheels can catch them marbles, and it's like putting tacks in on your tires. You start feeling that boom, 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 boom.
And that stuff gets hot and sticky.
And it's hell on them tires. Am I allowed to say hell?
Yeah.
Okay. After last week, I gotta start watching what I say, because my Las Vegas story wasn't appropriate, I guess.
Oh Lord, we don't even need to talk about that.
That's why I said my Las Vegas story.
Yeah, you don't specify.
And if Joshua Slade's out there listening to the broadcast, he's probably laughing up a storm right now.
Tell you what, I think he's too busy to be laughing right now. He is still trying to battle here with William Brown.
Yeah, and Dale Brooks continues to build a lead on Michael Hayes. It's up to almost a second now.
Yeah, that's just the crazy thing about it is Hayes is not that much slower than Dale Brooks, but I mean, even it's all about consistency, especially at a track like this too. I mean, we talked about how you have to drive this place, with that egg underneath your pedal, and then with the braking points. I mean, there's so many things that you have to be keeping track of, and try to do that same thing every single lap. And like you said, both ends of these tracks are not the same. So, I mean, it's hard to get that nailed down. But, I mean, it looks like Dale Brooks consistently is driving away. And I think that's the consistency has got to be the key here tonight. I mean, you could be the fastest man all day. You could hit the or not all day, but you could hit the fastest laps of the race. But can you maintain it? Can you continue to turn these fast laps? That's the problem. One turn you go in there a little too hot, guess what? I mean, you're not going to be as quick that lap. You have to be consistent.
Yeah, like the fastest lap is only one lap. It's what you do with all the other laps is what actually makes the race. And what you see in what Dale Brooks is doing, he might not put the fastest lap down on the track, but he's putting the most fastest laps down on the track, or the most consistent laps on the track. Let's see. 27.69 is his best. And what I see the best lap being right now is a 27.66, which was done by David Holsey.
Actually, even faster than that was actually Michael Thorpe, 27.639.
Yeah. There you go. So everybody has, I mean, this whole field, they're not much off from one another. There's a few people that's back there running 29 in their last speed, but I think that they might have a little bit damage. Brian Ricker, who's a couple laps down, is definitely feeling the brunt of some bad setup or a bad car right now. Oh, he's really.
How you doing in there, kid?
He's really.
There's a caution, yeah.
Yeah, Brian Ricker sitting on the inside wall right after pit road there, or the pit entrance, and he's unable to get that car. Oh yeah, he's got it up and moving now. So, but yeah, he was sitting there resting on that back stretch.
Big contact with the inside wall there.
Yeah, let's go. And that was probably let's see right here, but it looks like he just gets into the gas, maybe a little too hard, and there he goes. Back end just comes around and bam, hits the wall and comes to a rest, and that's why they brought out the caution for only the second time tonight. And everybody is coming down pit road for 4 fresh tires. Looks like Dale Brooks and this is such a long pit road. Oh,
Oh, problem for
17.
Tristan Evil. He misses his box.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an important stop here. I mean, still not in the fuel window. But I wouldn't be surprised to see if we go green from here and maybe have a green flag pit stop.
Joshua Slade, a big winner in that pit stop. He's going to come out 3rd place. Tristan Evo 4th. William Brown looks like William Brown had a lot of trouble in pit road. He's going to come back out 6th.
Yeah, he lost a good bit of spots there.
Let's see if somebody might have gambled, maybe took 2 tires.
And we saw Tristan, had missed his box there. He still came out in 4th. So apparently William Brown messed up a little bit worse than Tristan Evil.
Yeah, I mean, William Brown, his pit time was 31 seconds, where everybody else's was like half that, in 15 seconds, 18 seconds, 14 seconds. I don't know. You think some guys might have taken 2 tires, and William Brown took 4?
I don't know if I would. I would not take 2 tires. That's for sure. But it could well be a distinct possibility that some of these guys did take 2 tires. And big winner on pit road though was Steve Gerber. He moved up to 5th now. And Gerber don't like this track, huh? Maybe I think he might have a different tune after this race. What do you think? I mean,
the way the race started, it didn't look like he was having much fun race, but he learned something through the course of this race, and he's starting to move up to the front here.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I've always noticed about whenever I'm racing like a track I hate, the more I race that track, the more I begin not to hate it so much. You learn it and you feel like, oh, okay, I get it now,
Oh, I used to hate Pocono. I could not stand Pocono. Me and Pocono just did not get along. And then one day something just clicked. I raced it, and it was like, okay, it's not that bad. It's actually a fun track to run.
Yeah, it's almost like, humans are scared of the unknown when it comes to a lot of the things. I think that's what it is. Like, I don't like that track. It's because you haven't raced there enough, maybe.
Well, pace car is down there on the pit road. Dale Brooks once again is going to take us down to the start-finish line and get us on the restart here. And now, at any time he could go if he wanted to be that driver right now, but he's going to wait until he gets into that Geico restart zone, and then he's going to go. Like now he can go at any time, and he's going to go right now.
Green flag. He can pretty much there. Oh. I was wondering, I saw Steve Gerber leaving a lot of room there on the bottom. I was surprised the gap we saw there, and it looked like it helped out because Michael Hayes was able to slip right down in front of Steve Gerber.
Yeah. And Joshua Slade now up in 2nd place, challenging Dale Brooks. Looking on the inside now. Dale Brooks closing the door, not allowing Joshua Slade to get underneath him.
I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him back too much longer. Joshua Slade seems very determined.
And now, if I was,
we see Steve Gerber sideways in the middle of the track.
See, not liking the track again. And he's
almost back.
Well, he's back underway here. So all that position, yeah, all those positions that he just made up in one fail sloop. He's all the way back in the 12th spot behind Jeffrey Weimer. Jeffrey Weimer, who we seen making a move earlier in the race to try to get back up there racing. He's back in the 11th spot right now. Right there in David Halsey, not our points leader, but our pole setter, guy who led a lot of the laps in the first part of this race. He's back in 10th.
You could be the guy that really leads a lot of the race early in the race, but like you said, we hit this This, we've talked about this so many times about how this track changes as they go.
Stephen Hayes almost got a little too loose right there in front of Jason Schilling, but he's able to collect the car back up and stay going straight. So good save from him.
Got a little bit of a battle starting to brew here as William Brown trying to tackle Tristan Eagle. Even behind them, a little bit of a fighting going on as Michael Thorpe trying to keep the 11 behind him.
Tristan Eagle, once driving for William Brown down there in the trucks, jumped ship when they came over to Xfinity, is now driving for Lunatic Racing. The only Ford team, only non-Chevy team in the series. We got this Lunatic Racing racing the Fords. Ooh, William Brown almost getting into that outside wall. Putting the pressure on the 17.
Yeah, you want to try to, use as much of this track as you can, so I don't blame him, but, there is a limit.
Yeah.
Oh, he slides right. That was a slide job if I ever saw one. William Brown sliding right up in front of Tristan Eagle. That was fun to watch.
Good.
And already now 115 miles in the books, and still, I do believe, 85 remaining.
85 is remaining.
Joshua Slade still staying right there behind Dale Brooks. But I think Brooks has got the clean air. I think this is what's really just keeping him up front of me. What if he wins? He wins he won last Sunday, or Sunday's race, and he comes around here to Xfinity and wins this.
He's definitely going to be happy. I definitely think he'll be happy with that scenario. Joshua Slade and Mike Hayes and William Brown definitely want to.
Maybe not so much.
not so much. They definitely want to get up there and rain on that parade right there.
Michael Thorpe definitely trying to find his way around Tristan Eagle. You see he's got a lot of speed, and he's been working his way forward ever since he had that issue earlier that brought that caution out at around lap 60. But he's trying to find a way to work his way back forward. I mean, we know he's the points leader right now. I don't know if Thorpe's got it in it to win it, but what we've seen so far in this season, the first 3 races, I mean, he's gotten great finishes, top 5 almost every single time. I mean, that's what leads to him being the points leader. He needs to drive up through this field and at least get it in the top 5 to even have a hope, I think, of keeping that points lead.
Oh yeah, most definitely. With I don't know. Let's see who's behind him in points right now. Tristan Eagle, which is 3rd in points. The guys that are in 4th, 5th, and 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. I'm not sure if they're close enough to really kind of take him if he finishes in 6th right now. So if it was the end the way it is right now, I think Michael Thorpe would still walk away with the points lead going into Atlanta next week.
Tristan Eagle definitely struggling right now. We saw him getting to the outside wall a little bit here. As we see 11 really catching up to these guys. I believe Tristan Eagle slowing these guys down a little bit right here right now.
Yeah, Tristan Eagle, he's a very talented racer, so it's very abnormal to see him struggle so much, but he is definitely struggling with that 17 Ford.
Even further back behind there, we got a challenge for the 8th position. David Holsey shooting to the gap underneath Stephen Hayes. Looks like he might have that pass completed. There goes Stephen Hayes, firing another shot across the bow. Gonna try to get underneath him. Not able to get there though.
Yeah, Stephen Hayes is another one of those guys who would look good in the early running, and wow, that was close. That 13 car definitely got tight on the inside of the 57. 57 didn't give him much room. but the 13 definitely gets too tight and comes up and doors them. Luckily, they were able to stay off of each other for the most part and stay straight and keep on going on. But right in front of them, that battle between Christopher Basinger and Michael Thorpe heating up once again.
This almost looks a lot like what it did up front when we saw Dale Brooks, David Holsey, and Michael Hayes kind of battling all, to where you see, Thorpe's trying to get by Tristan Evil. When Thorpe can't do it, Hayes or Basinger tries to go underneath and try to get something done himself. So it's like, just take turns to try to see if we can't get by Tristan Evil.
Yeah, most definitely. Up front, Joshua Slade continues to try to do everything he can do to try to get around that 32 of Dale Brooks.
Yeah, almost looks. I mean, we know that Brooks has a top of the line long run setup underneath that machine, and I just don't know. I mean, Josh Slade has a really fast car too, but I think eventually, Brooks is going to come out on top, just considering the advantage of the clean air. I mean, he's got, this place is so handling, you have to have the best handling, and when you're in that clean air, that's when you're going to have that handling. And I mean, you could tell just watching these cars that, I mean, every lap they turn, they're on edge. You can see it.
Oh yeah, I mean, and this is what this track does. It makes you race the track. You got to race this track. You don't race those other drivers out there. You got to race that track. You got to hit your marks. You got to hit, your exit points and everything in order to have any chance of doing what Dale Brooks is doing right here, and that's leading this race and having the potential to win this race. So when you get to a track like that, you're definitely on edge. You're on the seat of your pants. You're holding on to that wheel as hard as you can and manhandle that thing around this track.
Michael Thorpe trying to do exactly that as he's challenging Tristan Evil once again. I think he might have the run to get it done here, but I don't know. Tristan Evil fighting back on the high side, getting a big run. Michael Thorpe chopping a ton of the track away with that dog leg. I just don't think it's worth it to go that deep.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't see the advantage of it, and the risk versus the reward. You come up on that track and 17 doesn't want to let you back up, then you're messed up. Right now you see Christopher Basinger following the 34 of Michael Thorpe, trying to slide through that door once he opens it up. But it's just a three-way battle right here for the 5th place. Ooh, Thorpe getting a little sideways there again on the hood of the 11 car, getting too close to the back end. We already seen that happen one time with Michael Thorpe when somebody drove too close to him going into the turn, kind of messed up that air on that back and got the car turned around.
Yeah, Michael Thorpe's got to be frustrated right now. I mean, he has tried everything in the playbook to try to get by Tristan Evil. Tristan just holding strong on the top side. Great defending line. As looks like almost getting rolled. Tristan Evil went to the outside wall a little bit there as Christopher Basinger trying to make his way up closer.
It almost looked like Christopher Basinger was going to go 3 wide with it, and with all this battling back and forth between the 3 cars, that's going to allow David Holsey to come up and join the party.
Holsey running real quick. He has got.
Oh, there we go. We're going to go make it 3 wide. This cannot be good. Oh, Thorpe gets the worst end of the deal, gets loose again, but saves the car.
Now Christopher Basinger trying his hand at Tristan Evil. Man, seeing him go 3 wide like that was exciting.
Yeah, it definitely was sight to see right there. That was.
Contact with the wall there from Tristan Evil. Now it looks like Basinger is going to be able to get that. Oh, that was a little bit tight there.
Yeah, I think
Basinger is going to make the pass happen though.
Yep, and then Holsey's trying to come in and everybody just.
Get into 11 there.
Wow.
throwing it in there.
Forget the lead. This is where the racing is at.
It definitely is. Right here is where the racing is happening. These guys are battling. I mean, this is like a bar brawl right now we're watching.
I can't keep my eyes off of it. It's like a train wreck that you just gotta look at. And 34, oh, 57 gets into the back of 11 and gets him sideways. 11 saves it.
I bet he's not too happy.
Yeah, he's definitely not happy right now, but I mean, I know David Halsey, and it definitely was not intentional breaking points, and we talked about that in the pre-race drivers meeting. Right now, 57 is under fire from the 34 of Michael Thorpe. Oh, I had a little lag spike there.
I'm telling you what, I think fighting is the best way to describe what we've been seeing so far here tonight.
Yeah, well, these laps.
Sorry, look back there in 10th place. Steve Gerber and Jeff Weimer trading positions, looks like. Oh, I didn't even realize Stephen Hayes out of the car. I didn't even realize that.
Okay, I didn't realize that either. Look, yeah, he's taking his car into the garage. Wow, I wonder what happened there.
And I wonder why. Didn't want to damage that car anymore because you're going to need it for next week.
Yeah, for anybody who is watching Global Racing Esports Network, I do apologize. I seem to have some lagging issues with some my iRacing is kind of skipping right now. It's not the stream, it's definitely the iRacing. Seems to be fine now, but I do apologize for the choppiness for like 20 seconds.
I'll tell you what, we got something really starting to heat up here as we see Chris Basinger trying to make his way around Michael Thorpe. I almost have a feeling that Basinger maybe has something in mind here, maybe driving with a vengeance to try to catch up here to David Halsey. I
think Chris is just trying to drive and get his positions back. He knows he has a fast car, and I don't think he's gonna risk doing anything in that car to come up here and get a retaliation. He's part of that Lazy Lizard crew, and I've told them that is definitely not condoned on the team. So he might be aggravated, but I think he's going to do the right choice and just get up there and make that pass.
One thing I'm surprised we haven't seen anybody maybe take that chance on a green flag pit stop. They are on the fuel window. When do you think that will be that they'll take that stop?
Oh. Well, they can't. I mean, if it was me, I would half it. I would go halfway to where I could make it the rest of the way on a half a tank of fuel, and get those 4 tires and hope a caution doesn't come out to try to get that advantage of having fresh tires, and hopefully somebody will stay out a lot longer than me, and I'd get that advantage.
Christopher Basinger has caught up here to David Halsey. Now going to try to make the pass on the inside. Looks like he might get it done close. Looks like he is going to edge out right in front of David Halsey.
That is for 5th place.
Now Michael Thorpe going to try to challenge David Halsey. A little contact with the wall there, I do believe, from the 11.
Oh, the 57 hits the wall hard.
No caution for that one. Jason Schilling going to get a position because of it.
I think Tristan Evil will be able to. I'm gonna take a look at. We'll take a look at the right front of. Oh, he's definitely got a tire rub on that right side of that vehicle. Yeah, he's pancaked it pretty well on that right side.
He's going to have to take a trip down pit road.
And that's where he's coming really fast. He might have got a speeding penalty coming into pit road a little too fast. Yeah, it sucks for Dave. It looks like his car just got tight and went up and hit the
Slade. Joshua Slade getting really loose just now. I think Michael Hayes might be able to catch up here. It looks like Joshua Slade having a little bit of handling conditions. Maybe it was just that one lap. These guys are pretty far into this run right now. And this next time by, I do believe everyone will be about 40 laps into this run.
And Dave Halsey's coming back off of pit road. He can go the rest of the way on fuel, and he's hoping for just green flag runs. And hopefully that damage.
I would actually think he probably wants a caution. That way he can get that lucky dog. I don't know. Just because, I mean, you know, because he did go down early. But, you know, fuel, like we said before, fuel maybe not be the biggest concern right now when it comes to, I mean, yeah, you definitely have to have gas to make it, but tires seem to be just everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, tires are everything, but these guys on their first pit, their first pit stop was at 61 laps, and they wasn't showing any signs of really, you know, a tremendous drop off that the cars would start. You know, we didn't see a lot of cars being loose. We didn't see them being tight and running up to the wall. So I think 61 laps is definitely a doable number. So yeah. I think if he is to stay out and with and it stayed green flag with those fresh tires, I think he'll have a little bit of advantage. Now the damage on his right side is what's going to hold him up. How bad is that? How bad is that car out there with that right side damage? He didn't stay in the pit road long enough to get a lot of that fixed. If he had a tremendous, because the way he hit, I mean, he hit and then stayed up there for a second or two. So I'm thinking he's betting on that there's not going to be no more cautions and that we're going to go green the rest of the way. And he's going to take the advantage of those fresh tires.
Well, still some fighting going on in the field here. 5th place right now, pretty much up in the air here is Christopher Basinger and Michael Thorpe dueling it out.
This is 6 seconds back from the 4th place of William Brown. So this is the closest racing that we have, and this has been the racing all night. Either Christopher Basinger has been involved or Michael Thorpe has been involved with Pat. Oh, you see Michael Thorpe get a wiggle forming up there, and allows Christopher Basinger to pull away ever so slightly.
And I almost, you know, maybe even thought with Halsey, the way that looked, the way he hit that wall like that, it almost looked like a tire went down.
I keep saying that. I say that all the time, and everybody's like, "Nah." Either they have a wheel malfunction on them at that particular time, but it looks like a tire blows. But they keep telling me that iRacing doesn't have tire blowing.
Hey, dude, iRacing does have tire blowing. I don't know where they get that thought. I mean, it's relatively new to iRacing, yes. But no, if you get down to 0% on a tire, it'll black flag you, and you have to go down pit.
Oh yes, I've had that happen to me before when I ran a qualifying setup on a race. After 40 laps on that, your tire, you don't have any tires left.
Huge lead right now, though, for Dale Brooks, out to 3.3 seconds. I mean, he is just doing a phenomenal job out here, all by his lonesome. Got to feel a little bit lonely being up there at the top like that.
I don't think he's worried about feeling lonely. I think he wants the solitude right now.
You see Jeff Weimer going down. He's now 2 laps down, and William Brown trying to find a way to get around him, but I do believe Jeff Weimer probably on new tires now.
And I mean, Jeff Weimer's he's just had a not a good start to this inaugural season of the Xfinity Series. One of these days he's going to break out and he's going to get him a top 5 or even a top 3 or even a win. But these last 4 races, he hasn't been the Jeff of old.
Yeah, for sure. The Jeff of old we saw whenever PMN first started broadcasting Global. I mean, that guy was out there winning races.
I'm pretty sure he's going
to. David Holsey, though. David Holsey on those new tires, screaming right by Tristan Evil there.
And like at the line last time, David Holsey running 28 fours compared to Dale Brooks's 29 evens. So David Holsey is definitely making up time on these guys. But the only thing of it is once these guys come in and get their 4 tires, now they're going to be a lot the fresh guys out there, and the 57 is going to have the old tires. So the 57 is definitely wanting a green flag run until the pit cycle runs all the way through, and that he can get his lap back and maybe gain 3 or 4 positions. Then if a yellow comes out, then he'd be sitting pretty good.
Steve Gerber starting to look like he's going to challenge here for 8th place as he's caught up to the back here of Tristan Evil. Tristan Evil still struggling in that race car. Nate going to try to pass on the bottom here.
And Tristan Evil is making that. Oh, he wiggles coming off of turn 4, and he's just struggling right now with that 17 car. But he's making everybody pass him work for it, because he's making that lane real small for them to get underneath them.
William Brown is caught up to the back of Michael Hayes. Got a challenge for 3rd here, and there he goes. He takes over 3rd, makes it look easy.
Yeah, it makes it look real easy. I mean, now he sets his sights on his driver in Xfinity, but his boss in trucks. They flip-flopped the roles there. Wayne Brown racing for 101 Motorsports down there in the truck series, and Joshua Slade running for Wayne Brown Motorsports up here in the Xfinity series.
And these guys are about 53, all the guys that are still out are about 53 laps in their run, so I expect any time now everybody's going to be coming down pit road. Michael Hayes kind of initiating that as he's down pit road right now.
I think Mike Hayes is one of those guys who's going to try to pit a little bit early, try to get, the 10 laps, fresher tires, and see if he can make that work for him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think. I mean, soon to I think we have 41 laps remaining when they cross the line this next time by. So, I mean, Michael Hayes' decision to go down right there wasn't really going early. I mean, I'm surprised people weren't trying to split it in half like you were saying. It looks like we are trying to go a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think
surprised. I mean, to see that.
Yeah, I think once you go to a certain point, you kind of just it gives you no benefit to come early. So most of these guys, they didn't. Nobody started it up, so that nobody went and halved it out. So now they're just running. Tristan Evil was struggling, so he was probably trying to get down and make them changes. As you see Jeff Weimer coming around Dale Brooks to get one of his laps back.
Jeff Weimer getting one of those laps back. He is now just 1 lap down.
And David Holsey just mowing around people right now on those fresh tires.
It got to feel good. I mean, but like you said, though, when everybody else pits, it's going to literally take that advantage away. But, I mean, it's got to feel really good to be able to come out here, be able to pass people. Definitely a confidence booster.
As long as we stay green, it's not that bad of a decision for David Holsey to come that early. He's definitely making up time on all these guys who were in front of him. He might not be able to pass Dale Brooks, because Dale Brooks had a considerable amount of lead on Dave Holsey. But Dave Holsey might be able to, get into the top 5 with his move. Here we see the 32 of Dale Brooks coming into pit road. He hits that commitment line, and he gets down before the cone, down to, I think it's 45 on this track.
I do believe it is. And we were just talking about Halsey and his call. Well, one thing you can see how much distance he had lost, because considering you see Michael Hayes, who just came back out of the pit road, he right now is passing Chris Basinger and past Halsey for position. So I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of on the other side when it comes to that. You know, I think that Halsey had already made his bed. He needs another caution.
I'm thinking he's yeah, right now. Well, no, he's gonna be. Oh, Chris Basinger comes in the pit road, and that leaves Joshua Slade and William Brown out there, the last two cars. Michael Thorpe, I believe he's already pitted. Let me see, where did he pit?
No, Michael Thorpe's still out there on these same old tires. He is now 60 laps into his run, but I do believe he's coming down this time by.
That's correct. He is. Now, why was it showing him a lap down? He should have been a lap down.
William Brown still has not come down. Joshua Slade also has not come down. I do believe any time now those guys will be making their trips down.
And Dale Brooks will stay in front of Mike Hayes.
And that's pretty good for Dale Brooks, considering, you know, Mike Hayes tried to short pit, probably tried to gain some time on Dale Brooks. Brooks still coming out.
Well, I mean,
now he's gonna have fresh tires.
He actually did gain some time on Dale Brooks, because going into the pits, Dale Brooks had a 5-second, 6-second lead on Mike Hayes. Now it's down to 1.9 seconds. So definitely benefits. But if Dale Brooks stays on those fresher tires now, he's gonna end up pulling away from Mike Hayes. As you see that Dale Brooks goes around William Brown.
You see the difference in speed. I mean, he's like a second or two faster than these guys. I mean, that's just the benefit of new tires at a place like this that burns your tires up so much. It looks like Brooks going to try to pass Joshua Slade. Slade not going to be able to pit because of that, so he's going to have to go another lap here. Just shocked that these guys are staying out as long as they are. I just don't know if it's a good call.
At this point, you kind of just got to roll with the dice and hope for the caution, because you've already made, like you said, you've already made your bed. Now now we gotta lie in it. But so right now, Joshua's gonna he's gonna run this out and hope to get a caution.
Caution could happen. I mean, when you see guys, you know, all these guys pitting, and you got old tires out there at the same time, I mean, that could be very dangerous. Could be very dangerous indeed, just considering you have, you know, the difference in speed. You know, we talked about it earlier about, you know, the different break points. You know, that's definitely true whenever you're on, you know, old tires versus new tires. It's very different.
Yeah, because your braking points change once your tires start getting a little bit of wear in them. As you see right now, the 7 is being under pressure from the 99 of Mike Hayes, trying to get his lap back, which he does.
Here comes Joshua Slade down pit road.
Yeah. Now, Joshua Slade and William Brown, they're going to be the biggest. Oh, Joshua Slade coming in really fast. Hopefully he got down. William Brown's going to come around and lead a lap.
Now, William Brown right now, your leader. Definitely curious to see what happens here with Joshua Slade, though. Did he incur a penalty there? If you get a penalty under a green flag stop, it is so bad. I mean,
that's death.
You get one under caution, it's not that big a deal. But if you get one under the green flag stop, you're going to sit there for 40 seconds.
All right, you got left sides going on. And he's away, so he did not get a speeding penalty. He was probably really close to getting one, but he's off and away and coming back on the track. And Dale Brooks has already passed him, as well as Mike Hayes and Dave Halsey.
Yeah, Dale Brooks soon to take the lead back as he does, as William Brown actually took a trip down pit road just now to also back to the point is Dale Brooks. What a great car he has had so far tonight. I mean, it's been so fast.
And like I was talking about before these pit cycles started, Dave Halsey pitted a lot earlier than these guys. He's managed to work his way back up to the 3rd position. Now, is he any threat of winning this race if a caution doesn't come out? No, but right now he has a let's see.
Say a possible top 5. I'd say.
Possible top 5. He's William Brown is 4.7 seconds back from Dave Halsey. Right now, Dave Halsey's been under fire from Joshua Slade for that third spot. But William Brown is 4.5 seconds. Christopher Basinger is another 4.5 seconds behind him. So if he can just hold off for 26 more laps, he could bring home a top 5.
And that's not going to be easy, though, considering, I mean, you're just talking about Basinger. I mean, Basinger is like a second faster than him. I mean, and a second of a lap goes by very quickly. I mean, especially with only 4 seconds separating. I mean, he's going to have to really turn it up a notch if he want to try to stay in that top 5. I mean, but then as the race goes on, the closer and closer we get to the end of this thing, the more the tires are going to level out too, to where maybe Halsey won't be struggling so much as much. Considering, I mean, as they go on, I think a low 29-second lap is about as far as I've seen these guys fall off tonight.
And just remember, Dave Halsey also has that damage on that right side.
Yeah.
So that's definitely probably playing a big factor on the way his car is being driven right now. And it probably played a big factor on why he pitted when he did. I mean, he was already suffering damage or loss of speed due to damage. So he was probably trying to equal it out with fresher tires.
I still have the question on my mind whether he blew a tire, because I mean that would make a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, pancaking the outside wall like that definitely would cause you to go down pit road, but he didn't stay down there to get any of it really fixed. But I mean, like I said, if he had blown a tire, then he just got a new tire and been good to go. That's what makes me think I want to talk to him after this race and ask him if he blew a tire, because I bet he'd tell us he did.
Well, we'll definitely bring him up here as soon as this race is over, while Dale Brooks or Mike Hayes or Joshua Slade even does their burnouts. We'll definitely bring David Halsey up here and ask him about that incident.
And William Brown has made it around David Halsey, so that 4-second gap went away really fast.
Oh, yeah.
And Christopher Basinger now knocking on the door of David Halsey.
Michael Thorpe back here in 7th position, points leader for the coming in today's race. I think he will still retain Tristan Evo having I think Tristan Evo is the closest one to him in the points on the track tonight, so Thorpe will probably walk away with the point standing still in hand.
And we're seeing right now Dale Brooks actually passing Tristan Evil, trying to get around also Jason Schilling. Well, quite a challenge that Dale Brooks has to do with dealing with these lap cars. Still side by side with Jason Schilling right now.
Well, Jason Schilling giving Dale Brooks plenty of room to race, but he's definitely not going to give it to him easy.
He doesn't want to go a lap down himself.
No.
At least wants to stay in front of Tristan Evil. That way, if a caution does come out, he'll be the lucky dog.
Exactly. So that leaves us with 7 cars on the lead lap. Dale Brooks got some pretty clear view ahead of himself right now. He ain't got nobody around him challenging for position. He's got those 2 lap cars behind him.
Yeah, still pretty crazy that Jeremy Coors is making here. I think he mentioned something about that last week, why he wasn't going to be here, because I know he coming into this race was second in the points, and that's definitely going to be a big hit. to his point situation there. You see Michael Thorpe really catching up here to David Holsey now. Holsey going to be kicked back to 7th place if Michael has his way. Just a tall order to think, David Holsey was going to be able to hold on, especially with just the amount of the new tires these guys have on their cars.
Well, if we remember right, David Holsey was like in 10th or 11th because we had commented about it. Then his car fell off.
That's true. I mean, he might actually, he probably did gain some type of position out there.
Yeah, 7th is definitely better than 11th. So.
Yeah.
And right now David Halsey has a. Let me see. He now holds a 7-second lead over Jason Schilling. Jason Schilling definitely making up that time as laps go by, but we only have 15 laps to go. So if David Halsey can just keep his car clean and keep it straight and keep it on the track, he might be able to come home with a 7th place finish.
Could very well be the case, but I know that see Schilling right now. He's following Dale Brooks. When you follow the leader like that, a lot of times you get better yourself. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Schilling going even faster here just by being in the same vicinity as Dale Brooks. Kind of to judge yourself off of him.
Right now, everybody needs
whenever I get behind someone else that's a little bit better than me, I always kind of drive a little bit better because they're in front of me.
Yeah, I think I get better when I'm racing around people that are same level as I am because I can actually race and learn how to pass, and I'm always a big supporter of equal playing fields.
Yeah, I always do much better when everybody around me is worse than me.
No, you just look better. But right now we're almost approaching the 10 to go lap, and 2 cautions in a race that the officials can't even go 2 laps without a caution is quite a feat for these guys, and definitely is a good statement for these guys that these guys are here to put on some good races, and that's what we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, definitely have seen that for sure. I heard someone just hit the wall. I think Tristan Evil might have just gotten to the wall again. Not sure, but I heard some contact. I thought it was like as soon as you were saying, talking about cautions, like, oh, we shouldn't bring that up.
Yeah, Dale would probably be very mad at me if I was to bring out a caution right there.
He has utterly dominated this thing. Definitely has led the most laps on the day tonight, and that's going to definitely do good for him in the points.
Yeah, oh, most definitely.
Another great day from Michael Hayes, though. I mean, he has had a phenomenal day himself at 99.
Yeah, second, I tell these guys, man, I'm not looking for the big winners. I'm not looking for the dominating wins. I'm just looking for good results. And that's what I ask y'all to do every week. And these guys in Lazy Lizards, they have been definitely giving me results that I've been looking for this team, and I'm definitely proud of all of them.
Joshua Slade right now has the speed. I think he could catch up to Michael Hayes. Could see something happen there with a change in position, because we saw Joshua Slade stay out a lot longer than the rest of these guys, so he does have an advantage on tires. But he still has to get around Steve Gerber right now. And you see Tristan Evil also. We saw Michael Hayes just now getting by Tristan Evil. Looking at lap times, I mean, Joshua Slade that last time by was like a 10th faster than Michael Hayes.
I am showing that he was like a half second quicker than Mike. Mike ran a 29 because he was also battling he was battling with Tristan Evil there. Oh, you see a little wiggle out of that 7 car trying to pass the 8 car of Steve Gerber. This time around at the start finish line, We'll see what Michael Hayes ran a 28.9. Joshua Slade ran a 28.8. So Joshua Slade's definitely going to have to get a lot faster if he wants to try to challenge for that second spot.
Yeah, he definitely does. I mean, he's still got to get by Tristan Evil, and not many laps left. I mean, 6 to go when they cross the line.
Ooh, Tristan Evil getting loose right in front of the 7 of Joshua Slade. And Tristan, that car has just went south on him.
Definitely hate to see that, but I mean, I don't know. It looks like the Fords. Oh, Tristan Evil, that was close.
That is out there. Yeah, there is just something wrong with that 17 car. It is just not handling the way that Tristan wants it to be handling at this particular point of the race.
I think he just wanted to see the checkered flag at this point.
I would too. I'd be like, okay, somebody just get these 5 laps over with, for crying out loud. As you see, Steve Gerber.
Like that, I feel like it takes longer because you're driving a car like that.
It seems like it is. If you got them alien cars and you're in a race like this where you just can't back out and leave, or you want to get as much points as you possibly can. But if you have an alien car, it makes for a long day.
Definitely does. I mean, time flies when you're having fun. When you got a bad car, it ain't as fun. That's for sure.
You know who's having fun right now and who has a great car? That's Dale Brooks in that 32 out there in front, about to put David Holsey 1 lap down.
I mean, he's almost put half this field a lap down. And if he gets David Holsey, I think he will succeed in putting half this field a lap down.
Yeah. So it would be 7 cars a lap down in a 13-car field. So David Holsey's trying to keep him from having that record right now.
And soon to have the white flag waving. Dale Brooks doing an excellent job here tonight.
Right now, Dale Brooks just needs to know that, hey, he's got such a big lead on here. Does passing Holsey, really mean anything to you?
I mean, he's got 7.7 seconds.
I would be so worried that Dave. I mean, I'd be worried that me going up there racing with David Holsey and he makes a mistake and takes me out. I mean, I would. I just don't agree with that. You got a 7-second lead over second place. But anyways, here we go. The last turn coming in to tonight's race. The 32, Dale Brooks, after his big win on the Dale Brooks Classic, comes in Phoenix and takes the checkered flag. Mike Hayes, looks like Mike Hayes takes second place. Joshua Slade comes home third. William Brown is going to come over the start finish line, 4th place. Tristan Evil crashes at the end of the race.
I guess that's the best time to do it at the end.
Yeah, there you go.
Michael Thorpe going to come home in 5th place. Christopher Bessinger in 6th place. David Holsey going to finish 7th. Jason Schilling in 8th. 9th place, Steve Gerber. And as you mentioned, Tristan Evil crashing out. He's in 10th. Jeff Weimer out of the race, 34 laps down in 11th. Stephen Hayes, 76 laps down in 12th. Brian Ricker, 98 laps down in 13th.
Wow. Well, congratulations to Dale Brooks for his second win. I believe this is his first win in Xfinity, his second win of the year. You got that, like we said earlier, you got that win at the Dale Brooks Classic last Sunday in the truck. So congratulations to Dale Brooks, and definitely congratulations to Dale Brooks Sr., who continues to win the war against lung cancer, and definitely glad to get good reports on you every day, sir.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Dale Brooks Sr. Love to, see him being triumphant in this fight. And, definitely a big fight it is. I mean, I know my dad suffered from lung cancer, was able to beat it into remission and, Still ended up having problems later in life, but still was it takes a real man to be able to fight that kind of stuff off, or a real woman
Mhm.
too. I mean, it's something that really challenges your will to live. So definitely big shout out to Dale Brooks Sr.
Oh, most definitely. All right, we're gonna bring Joshua Slade up here to start these. Uh, we're gonna start off with Joshua Slade in third place. If you want to take him there, Mister Britt.
All righty, we got Mr. Joshua Slade. Crazy race you had going on there at the last bit of the time there. Being on the new tires. Did you think you were going to catch up to Michael Hayes? It looked like you were going to. Just ran out of time.
Yeah, ran out of time and tire. No, it was a great race. I thought if I could like stay out a couple more laps, past Dale and Michael, I could get a good run towards the finish. But just a couple lap cars kind of made it a little bit difficult to pass. But other than that, it was just a great race.
And like, what were y'all dealing with in the car out there? I mean, it looked like it just was a handful to drive for about everybody out on the track. Did it feel that way for you?
Yeah, I mean every turn, especially turn four, you're trying to fight the car from slipping out from you. I mean, big key here was just to be patient, let drivers make their mistakes, and save your tire and reduce wheel spin.
Yeah, definitely was. Tires seemed to be the big name of the game here tonight, and but I mean, everybody stayed clean out there for the most part. How are you feeling? When we go next week, I think Atlanta on the docket. And I think it might even be the old scan if I'm not mistaken. So, have you guys got any time there yet?
I haven't got that much time in. I'm gonna put some time in this week, but I feel like it's gonna be it's a very fast track. I feel like a lot of guys are gonna be more aggressive next week, so I feel like you're gonna have a great race to watch, and I think we'll probably get some more cautions next week. Gonna be a lot of bumping.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that. Bumpy, and bumping. But we're excited to see what happens there for sure. Unfortunately, we're off tomorrow for our sakes. Get to watch you guys go out there. We don't get to watch you guys go out there, but we'll definitely be missing you. Who can we shout out tonight after that third place finish?
Yeah, shout out William Brown Motorsports, EJ Luna, William Brown, and Ricky Montgomery. Uh, yeah, we're just and oh no, shout out to the guys in the booth, and Kenny Heath, Michael Lester, and Danny, everyone else in the league. Honestly, yeah,
Ooh,
that's pretty much it.
I get two shout outs. The guy that's in the booth and Mike Lester. Woohoo, I win.
Well, we definitely appreciate your time, Josh, and look forward to seeing you next week, buddy.
All right, man, appreciate it.
All right.
That was Joshua Slade, your third place finisher tonight, and now we are joined in the booth by Michael Hayes, and I'll let you interview your own employee here.
All right, sounds like good. Mike Hayes, Mike Lester booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, y'all put on a really good race out there, man. You were up front most of the day. I don't think I seen you fall out of the top five. Man, give us a little bit of a taste of what you saw out there, man, from your view.
Yeah, I felt like I had a winning car, but Dale Brooks is in another dimension or something, and I don't know. Nobody could catch him. I mean, yeah, second place car for sure, but yeah, no cautions, not too many cautions. I mean, yeah, it was a fun race for me. I feel bad for Steve though. Something happened with him. I'm not really sure what happened, an internet connection or something. He disappeared out of the race.
Who was
Yeah,
that?
it was a fun race and a good win for Dale. It's pretty incredible to watch.
Yeah. Now, what was your strategy coming into that last pit road? Did you want to half it up, or were you just kind of, trying to short pit?
I was trying to short pit Dale. I knew I was better than Joshua. I burned up my stop on that run. I know that, but I knew I was better than Joshua, so I was trying to short pit Dale. But as soon as I went into pit, he came in like a lap after me, so that strategy ended up not working. But it worked out for getting past Joshua, but
Mm. Well,
there's
second place
no
is,
way I was gonna catch Dale.
and yeah, Dale was on, like you said, Dale was on a level of his own tonight. He definitely put the time in, put the practice in. I know y'all did too. I see y'all on it every day, and y'all doing the practice, and definitely uh one of the good things about this team, y'all always practicing. You're practicing together. Uh, moving on to Atlanta next week, man. I mean, what do you think about your chances are in Atlanta? Is it a track that you like? A bit like Las Vegas, and you did pretty good at Las Vegas.
Well, I'm hoping it's the old Atlanta. If it's a new Atlanta, I'm not sure. I heard on the public races that I've been running that it's gonna be the new Atlanta. I'm not really sure what to expect there, to be honest. It is. If it's old Atlanta, it'll be fun. It'll be good.
Okay, man. All right, man. Before we send you back down to the Lazy Lizard, you got anybody you want to shout out to tonight?
Yeah, as always, my teammates, we all worked together. We had everybody here this race, so it was fun and hanging out with the guys. And again, I'm sorry for Steven. I'm not sure what happened, but try to get it figured out and worked out for next time. But yeah, it was a blast. To be honest, my wrists and shoulders hurt really bad, so it was a tough one tonight.
All right. All right, man. Well, congratulations on your second place finish. You were the, what do we call him? The Wolf Cola driver of the night. So that's
You
a good
got
award.
it.
That's a good
We'll see
award
that Wolf
there.
Cola as soon as the FDA approves it.
There you go. We're gonna start selling it, man. You're gonna have your picture's gonna be on the first can of it.
All right, I appreciate
All
it,
right.
guys.
We do not any kind of side effects that you get from that. We're not liable.
Yeah, read the
Yeah,
fine
you
print.
are. Yeah, you
All
are.
right, that's Mike Hayes, your runner up tonight. I'm gonna send him back down to Lazy Lizard Racing, and you know what? We're gonna bring up the man of the hour, the man who won it all last week at one of his favorite races that he'd always wanted to win. He won the Dale Brooks Classic, and he comes back and backs it up again tonight and wins the uh, Rise of the Phoenix 200. Dale Brooks, Mike Lester in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, before I turn you over to Brian Britt and let him do this his number one interview, man, I just want to say congratulations. You did a hell of a run last night. Everybody, I mean, you were just a class of the field, man. Definitely congratulate you on a race well driven.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Mr. Dale Brooks, excellent work to you, man. It's got to feel good to be able to, get some back-to-back victory lanes, especially in two different cars and at two very different racetracks. I mean, that 32 car looked like it was on rails tonight. How much time did you put in, getting this thing ready?
I got kind of lucky at the beginning of the week. I hit on the setup pretty early, and it allowed me to just tweak it all. It allowed me to tweak on it all week. I really worked on maximizing the drive off turn 2 and the rotating in turn 3 and 4, and it just ended up working out good. I think I ran really consistent lines, tried to repeat the same braking every single lap. So yeah, I mean, the setup was great. It wasn't a dream to drive. I was definitely wheeling it, but yeah, super happy with the result for sure.
Had to be. I mean, early in the race, though, what was going through your mind? Do you feel like you were faster than those guys? I mean, it seemed like once you got by the top two there, I know it was Michael Hayes and David Holsey, it seemed like you just started pulling away. Do you feel like you were just being held back, and once you got in the clean air, you were just able to, do your business?
I wouldn't say they were holding me back. I just didn't want to push anything that early. I was just trying to be patient. I knew I had a really good long run car, so I just kind of went in a tire conservation mode behind them until my opportunity came to pass them. They weren't, like I said, I wouldn't say they were holding me up at all. Just I wasn't trying to push the issue that early in the race.
Definitely understand that. Wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom in the way you were driving out there today. I mean, especially just being patient. That's the key. And it was some good, clean, hard racing too. I mean, a lot of green flag out there. I mean, Are you a little tired? I mean, I would assume I'd be wore out after that one. We already heard
Yeah,
Michael Hayes say he was wore out.
I am sweating. My shirt is drenched. You know, it's different at a track like this. You know, Vegas last week, it's hammered down most of the race. Here, I mean, you are working the wheel constantly, braking hard into the turns. So I'm drenched, and my shoulders are just dead.
Well, good thing you're going to be able to, just relax after this, get to celebrate a little bit. How are you going to celebrate tonight's win?
Just talk to the team, call my parents as always, and just, kind of. I'll probably watch the broadcast for sure. I love watching the broadcast. It makes it even sweeter when I can watch myself win. But yeah, that's about it. Might drink a beer or two.
See, that's what he was
Alright,
going
sounds
for.
like
That's
a
what he was
time
looking
there.
for.
That's what I was looking for. I gotta ask though, how are you feeling about Atlanta? I mean, I know kind of up in the air what version of Atlanta we're gonna see, but I mean, how are you feeling either way?
I'm comfortable at Atlanta. I like it. It's a fun track. I like it a lot because it's a driver's track. Definitely not flat footing it around there in the trucks or the cars. So it should be fun. Again, got to put the time in the setup, put the laps in, practice a lot, and we'll see what Blazing Fools for the Xfinity, and we'll see what Dirty South can do in the trucks.
Definitely look forward to seeing that. And unfortunately, not going to be racing tomorrow, so we'll miss seeing you there. Who can we shout out tonight after this win tonight?
As always, Brian, got a shout out to my parents. I know they're probably happy right now. They watch the race every week, so they were excited for this race. Shout out to my kids, and huge shout out to Blazing Fools Racing, Chuck Cobb, the owner. Super selfless this week. He wasn't going to be able to race, but he still put in a bunch of practice with us, helped us with the setup. So thanks to him, thanks to all the drivers on my team, and thanks to the whole league. And thanks to you, Brian, for the broadcast, man. I love what you guys do every week.
We definitely appreciate you also, Mr. Brooks, and can't wait to see what you got in store for us next week. Can you keep this run going? We'll have to wait and see. But thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Oh, let me give a shout out to Kenny Heath, Eddie Sproul. I believe they were in Chuck Cobb. They were all in race control. So thank you guys for what you do.
Definitely appreciate your time. That is your winner tonight, Dale Brooks. Should we say Dale Brooks Jr.? I don't know, because, I mean, Dale Brooks Sr.'s out there watching. We don't want to get anybody upset. But, Mr. Lester, that was a great race tonight. Definitely had some great moments to it, some exciting racing, very clean racing, too, as we kind of move on with race 4. I mean, that definitely, you think we're going to see any changes in the points? That's my question.
I think the biggest points, as we talked about during the course of the race, I think the biggest points change is going to be in that second place of Jeremy Coors not showing up for the race tonight for real life prior engagements. So I think that's going to be the real big shakeup is in the top 5 with Jeremy Coors, seeing how far he slips down. We would definitely get that out to you, information out to everybody next week at Atlanta. But as of this race, I mean, you're seeing a dominating performance from Dale Brooks. You're also seeing an early dominating performance from Dave Halsey. Dave Halsey not having as good as a finish as Dale Brooks did, but all in all, this was just a great race. And, we had, 2 cautions. And, that's the part of what the racing is all about is just good, clean racing. That's why we brought these guys up to the Xfinity level, and definitely happy to see the way this league is, or the series is turning out. So
100%, definitely very happy with the way this has been turning out. Some solid racing here. Can't wait to see what Atlanta's going to look like, what kind of curveballs that's going to throw us for sure. Sure, I'm excited, but I think that about wraps everything up here tonight. What a solid race that was. Congratulations once again to Dale Brooks. And would you like to sign us out, Mr. Lester?
Sure. For Global Racing Esports Network and Performance Motor Network, I'm Mike Lester, joined by Brian Britt up here in the booth. Good night.